Welcome to the Own It Show. I'm Heather Lee Chapman, your holistic performance and business coach. And I'm so excited to be here with you all today. It's time to stop sacrificing your health and freedom and start scaling your results in your business and all areas of your life. Here at Own It Empire, we help entrepreneurs become high performers and increase their awareness so they can increase their impact and create profitable business online so that you can truly own it.
Welcome back to the Own It Show. We are here with special guest Julia Falci, where we're going to be talking about how to own your business growth for predictable income. And I'm so excited to always be helping you guys help uncommon knowledge become common, to inspire, educate, and serve you conscious entrepreneurs to get on the journey, stay on it, and thrive. So we've got some great tips and tricks for you guys today. So let's dive into the show. Julia, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Yeah, thank you, Heather, for having me. My pleasure.
Absolutely, my pleasure. So let me share a little bit more about Julia. She is a holistic business coach, marketing strategist, speaker, and wellness practitioner who helps purpose-driven women build the business and life of their dreams without sacrificing their well-being. Julia is a certified mindset coach and brings in modalities such as neurolinguistics programming and emotional freedom technique, that's your EFT tapping, as tools to release negative emotions and limiting beliefs while reprogramming the subconscious mind to embody our highest self and achieve our dreams and outcomes. She's also a Reiki practitioner. And before coaching, Julia worked in the corporate world as a digital marketer for over 12 years and has successfully strategized and executed campaigns for award-winning companies, including a Profit 500 recipient and a SaaS organization serving Fortune 500 brands. Through her holistic business coaching approach, Julia supports female-led organizations and solopreneurs at a strategic level while bridging the emotional roller coaster that is running a business. And we got a free gift for you guys today from Julia as well, and it's the business model canvas template. So I'm super excited to share about your Zone of Genius tips and tricks and so much more. So before we dive into your tips, let's learn a little bit more about you, how you got started on your entrepreneur journey. Thank you.
Yes, wow, that was great. Thank you so much. Can I just carry you with me to introduce myself? Everyone,
Sure,
can I say
absolutely.
again? Joking. But yeah, thank you for that. And how I started, I actually tried to start a business before in 2017. I was director of digital marketing at an agency back then, and I started feeling out of purpose. So I worked on a passion project that soon took all my time. I was very excited, started working crazy hours, not taking care of myself too much because all I could think about was work and hustling hard, like hustle hard if you want to see results. And that's what I did. So I was like not working out, not eating well, and just working at all times. And when I was stressed, I would like have a glass of wine, maybe some chocolate cake. So like not very good habits. And after about a year of that, I actually got to quit my job to go full time with my business that was going well. However, I also noticed I was having burnout and severe anxiety crisis. So it was kind of funny that as soon as I got to quit the job, and that was like just so much emotion building, I think that's what really triggered the high anxiety that came like as a whole like roller coaster thing. Anyway, so when I got there, I saw I needed to take care of myself. So I got to another job, started doing a lot of meditation daily. Then I joined like a workout program, got a nutritionist plan. Like I really took care of myself. And later, like 2 years later in 2019, that's when I started my business coaching program. And I knew I had to take care of myself first if I wanted to grow a business. It's kind of like the airplane mask that they say, put the mask on yourself first. So we can't be there for the business, for our family, for our friends, and for ourselves, like if we don't take care of ourselves. So I built this business coaching very based on self-care first approach, kind of anti-hustle mentality. And using my 12 years of marketing experience with the holistic approaches that I actually added later. So as you mentioned, like I did my mindset coaching certification, which is based on NLP. I did my Reiki and EFT tapping training as well. And I love, Heather, that you have a very similar approach. I'm like, oh my God, we should be besties because we're like
Yeah.
in different sides of Canada, but doing very similar work, which is so meaningful. And I really appreciate that. So I'm very happy to be here today.
Yeah, and I love your background, how you started a little bit more in the corporate world. You've been amazing at marketing, and then you actually took the mindset component and you really take that full holistic approach. And that's why I think we're so aligned is your holistic approach that you take. We're human beings, we've got mind, body, soul. And then we also have our business, and it's a holistic thing as well. And they are intertwined. So if we are struggling, then our business struggles. If our business struggles, it impacts us. So we want to make sure that we have as much harmony and balance between the two as possible to avoid that burnout, to avoid the burnout that eventually has us quit,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
If we don't take care of ourselves and put that oxygen mask on first, it does get to a point where most entrepreneurs will quit on themselves, and which also means we're often quitting on our dreams. And so I love that both of us help people really bring that harmony, balance, and holistic approach into their life and their business and their self mastery so that they can truly live their purpose and leave that impact and legacy that they're meant to. So, if you had a piece of advice that maybe you wish you knew before you got started, or you're so grateful you knew now, what would you like to share with our audience?
Um, Thinking about what we were just talking about and working too much. One thing that is interesting, most of us start a business because we want some flexibility. We want to have free time. We want to work from anywhere sometimes, or to be able to travel more and to make more money. And if that's what we want, the flexibility, why don't we start implementing that from day one? Right? Like, why do we think that's a belief? Why do we believe that we need to hustle hard in order to build something? Because it's just a habit that it's never going to go away. We're always waiting for the next step and the next step and the next step. So what's next? And we just keep hustling and hustling and hustling until we get to exhaustion, and we're always stressed. And basically, that's not what we signed up for. Um, so just getting like a note with that, we talked a little bit before, Heather, about being our highest self. And this is a model that I really like to work with, which is thinking about what is the business that you want to build. If you think about in the future, like the perfect business, who you are in that business, like how do you show up for that business? What's the structure? Do you have a team? How do you work? How's your energy? How do you get up? How do you get out of bed and like start your day? What are your routines? And when you think about that highest self, most likely they're going to have a good life balance as well, right? They're not going to be hustling hard. They're going to take time off. They're going to take weekends off and have those boundaries. And what I find is that by being that person today, it's the best way to actually achieve those goals. And that's not just about the time and hustling and all of that, but it's about everything. One thing I like to do is like whenever life gives us opportunities is to see through the lens of our higher self and see like, would our higher self take this or not? Because sometimes it's a no. And sometimes you're just overly excited that something happened. It's like, oh my God, I got an invitation to do something, to speak at an event or to do a workshop. But just take a step back and it's like, is this aligned with my big vision? Is this aligned with what I want to build? And if not, it's totally fine to say no and actually make space and make room and time to do the things that you want to. So I
And
think
I love that, taking a step back to look at it through the lens of your higher self. And that's so important. And we were just talking about that. I did just get a speaking opportunity and an invitation. And then after doing some digging, I realized it wasn't necessarily in alignment with my big, hairy, audacious goal, which is my life purpose. And then I got another opportunity, which is, and if I had said yes to the one, I wouldn't have had the space for the other. So just making sure that we are always checking in through that higher lens. And then no matter what struggles we go through every day, if we're looking at them through the current lens of where we are, it's hard to see beyond the weeds. So looking through the lens of our higher self is always a great opportunity there. And then I heard you say that most people will often say, then I will. So once I have this amazing business, I'll give myself a day of rest. And that doesn't work, because often you'll burn out before that day of rest comes. And so I heard recently one of the mentors say, what if you did take a day or two off on the weekend and you allowed yourself to recover, and then like a day of rest and then a day of like all the things you need to do, so that you could bring the enthusiasm and the level of that higher self that you would like to during the week in serving, instead of doing it with a half-filled tank.
Yes, 100%. Just to add one little thing here, one thing
Sure.
I found for my business, and I think it's life-changing, is understanding that rest makes me actually more productive and more creative for my business. So not even waiting for the weekend, but on a weekday, if I'm in front of the computer and my mind is feeling a little doing too much work and I need to step out, I will step out. It's great that I have a dog too. So I take my dog for a walk. I don't listen to any podcast, music, anything. I just go with me and myself and my dog, take her for a walk. And literally, I always have the most amazing ideas on those walks. So it's stepping back and taking the time to rest and to breathe, your brain to breathe. It's like it brings the best ideas. It's part of the business. See it as a business to do.
Yes, absolutely. And Steve Jobs used to take an hour walk every single day without his phone. And that's when we can connect to source, our higher self. We can clear all the thoughts that are running, clear the mental real estate, and actually access that lens of our higher self. But if we're always just filling the brain full of more information, then we can't bring in that discernment through that higher lens that we talked about. I love that.
Mhm.
Brilliant.
Mhm.
And I actually just went for a walk the other day for an hour and a half with no phone in a light rain, which was so beautiful. And I felt so refreshed after. And even one of my mentors in the modern mystery school says, rest is essential so that we can connect to that higher self.
Mhm.
And so
Love
I love how you said to begin to see that as part of the business.
Mhm. Yeah, guilt-free. Just do
Yeah.
it.
And
Yeah.
not just on the weekends, when it is needed as well. I
Yep.
love it. I
Mm.
love it. Okay, so let's dive into your strategies and tips and tricks. So the first one we were talking about was focusing on your audience. So take it away.
Yeah, so I was thinking about three things that I see lots of errors being made by entrepreneurs, and one of them is about the target audience. So sometimes we do know who we want to work with, who we have the desire to work with, how much we would charge. Like we have all this as an idea. However, because that's not a reality many times, we have a very hard time to like actually get there and achieve that. So what I see many people doing is that they just keep focusing on the audience that they have today, and they just keep serving them. So all the content is geared to that audience, all the offers are geared to that audience, what they need. The pricing is geared to what they can pay. And then we're just like in this constant loop of selling to people who are not who we want to sell with, sell to. So I think it's taking, again, it's just taking step backs today, but taking a step back and thinking, who do you actually want to serve? Like if you think about that future business that we were talking about and who you want to be serving, who can actually afford you and who are going to enjoy and appreciate what you have to offer, like who are those people? And if they are not in your circle today, how can you get there? Because if we just keep serving the same people over and over and they're not right, we're just going to keep on a hamster wheel. Like we're not going to see any change. So I think the first thing is understanding your audience, and even though they may not be there right now, start catering to them, because that's how you're going to attract them. Start creating the content, creating collaborations are so important when you're trying to gather new audience, so you can reach, like we're doing right now. Like, of course, I'm going to be sharing this as well, so my audience is going to get to know Heather's audience is getting to know me, and then we're just like exponential growth for everyone, which is great. So thinking about people you can collaborate with that serves the audience that you want to serve. And yeah, thinking like when you do webinars, are you actually catering to this audience? I think that's the first thing, is making sure you know who they are, where they are, what their pain points are, what they're looking to accomplish. So then you can deliver that. Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking to them in their language, I just wanted to add too. So everything you said is essential. And now that you're going to do that, it's to also we're so smart in our zones of genius as business owners that sometimes we forget the language that we use might not be what they would be using. So you said know their pain points. So know how they're speaking in the pain that they have, and then write about that and speak to them in their language. And as you said, stop serving the current audience. And for so many times as business owners, it's time to pivot and we start to level up. And it does require almost a rebranding on that every level up because you're speaking to a new level of client. And so sometimes we have a fear and we keep trying to fill the void where we used to be, but we need to bring it to that next level. So we want to speak to that next level client. And as you said, the first is to know who they are, know what they need, and then know where they're hanging out, and then to serve them and connect and network and speak in their language. So I love that, because we'll only get more of the same if we keep doing the same and serving where we are. So it's okay to evolve and level up, but that also requires some leveling up and evolving in your branding and your strategy and your messaging. And that avatar is consistently going to level up with you. And so making sure that messaging and that avatar levels up as you do. So I love, love, love that. So important.
100%. Yeah.
Amazing. So let's dive into tip number 2, having your funnel and your engine running with consistency. So paying attention to all the areas at all times.
hmm Yeah, so for this one, I was thinking about two different people that I hear the same problems coming as well. One is people who say, okay, I just don't have any clients. Like, I just need to get clients coming in. That's one problem. And the other one is people saying, I need consistency. So some months I'm super busy. I have a lot of clients, but then I finish with them. And then a new month comes and I have zero, no one. And then it's all stress, anxiety. How am I going to pay my bills? Should I still be doing this? Should I give up? We know how that goes. And I think both of these problems, although they are very different, the solution, I think it's very similar, which is it's not about one area. It's not about bringing clients when you need clients, but it's about running your business as an engine that needs to be working and running at all times. So it's not like, oh, I'm busy with clients, great, so I'm going to serve those clients. And then when I'm finished, other clients are magically going to appear, because unfortunately, like, it would be amazing if that happened, but that's not how it works. So when we run a business, we need to be consistently working on the entire funnel, which is basically attracting people. So we need to be always capturing and attracting people. So you do this through podcasting, SEO, so making sure that your website is optimized. When people Google, they can find you, being on like online directories, as we were talking about, doing those collaborations and lives, creating discoverable content like Reels and TikTok. Like, there are a number of ways, blogging, and you can put your blogs on like a LinkedIn article format. You can use Medium, Quora, all these other platforms, and really like just repurpose that same content so you can make the best of your efforts. But anyway, discoverability is key to be always attracting people. And then once those people find about you, and then you need to have some different platforms to also be communicating with them, nurturing them, showing them how you can support them with their pain points, their desires. And then it's all the other like email marketing, social channels, maybe a WhatsApp broadcast group. There are like many other channels as well and different strategies. And once that's running, the last piece is the conversion. So everyone is always like, I need to convert, I need more clients. But actually, it starts on the top of the funnel. So and everything needs to be running. So when you are serving your clients, you have engine working for you, that it's attracting new people who are following into that funnel. They are being served emails and content and blogs that when they are ready, they're going to become a client. So you don't get desperate with those highs and lows, and things are just smoothly working all the time.
Yes, I love that. Having a consistent, predictable, profitable lead funnel and strategy is essential, because that does happen. And I know that I just adjusted my schedule this morning, and we were just talking about that just before our podcast today, to help make sure that that is plausible for me, because I just went through a time when my calendar was so full that some things fell off, that I realized that that was not sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
And so for that reason, I made an evaluation and readjusted my schedule to make sure that what I'm building can stay consistent and sustainable. Because if we're constantly going through overwhelm, burnout, and then we rebuild, that's not sustainable. And
And
so
it's not fun.
no, it's not fun at all. No. And we built our business to enjoy what we love doing. And so whether it's meaning we need to bring in the right team, I'm actually looking at a whole company just to take on everything. And because I did the hire by individual, each person for each role, this, that, and the other thing, bring people on, train them, what have you. And you know what? I thought I loved it and it was so much fun. But what I really just think is like, you are an expert. This is your zone of genius. Come in and make this a consistent, predictable, profitable strategies and funnels, and so that I can just focus on my zone of genius. And I think when we can make those pivots and those adjustments in the business, that's when we can bring that more joy. That's when we have a consistent strategy and funnel, because so many business owners are going into every month going, okay, how do I repeat what I did last month? And what we want to do is go in with the predictability that we know we've already done this, and then the result is a byproduct of the strategies and the funnels we have in place, like you said. So it started up top with the strategy and the funnel, and the results and the client acquisition is a byproduct of that. And so that's why this funnel and these strategies need to stay consistent. And if you are finding that there's overwhelm in the business, so I'm in a transition of rebuilding a new team. So and you'll know as a business owner, then there's times where you're like, oh, okay, all of a sudden you're doing so many things. And that's when we need to release, delegate, automate, multiply, bring in the right people so that we can focus on that zone of genius and keep those strategies and funnels consistent so that we have a predictable, profitable number coming in every single month. And then we can also scale from there. Love it.
Perfect. Yeah, this was the perfect segue to the third topic, which is investing in your business. But just to talk about one more thing about the having months that you're too busy. And that's if you are having a month that you're too busy and then the next one is empty, actually, that's the easiest to fix. So I just want to give a quick tip if that's happening for you. Basically, start scheduling your clients, so you leave time for admin work, for your marketing work, for whatever else you need to do. And maybe you can say, okay, so July I'm fully booked. If you want to work with me, I have spots in August. Now August is fully booked. If you want to work with me, we can book in September. Like, if they want to work with you, they are not going to run away. If they're not, like, most of the people are not going to run away, I would say. They're going to adjust to your schedule. So start planning for that. And maybe if you get to a point that it's like, okay, now I'm booking for November and now it's July, maybe it's time to hire, right? Maybe. So that's the third step, which is actually knowing when and not being afraid to invest in your business. And that can mean multiple things. It can mean going from using free tools to actually investing on paid platforms now that can support you better. So having a better CRM system, having a better scheduling tool, and having things that integrate between each other. So it gives you less work, everything. Like, people just fill a form, they book the meeting, you get to the Zoom and you never lifted a finger, basically. Like, that's where we want to get you. And as you grow and you get more complex and you have more people to deal with, like, you are going to need better systems, basically. So investing in systems, it's part of having a business, and it's going to save you time. I think the first expense I had in terms of software for me was QuickBooks, which is a invoicing, bookkeeping platform. And I think, like, every business needs to track, like, you need to track your bookkeeping and you need to file your taxes and you need to have everything organized. So when I think that QuickBooks, it's $20 a month, and how much time am I going to spend managing, like, Excel or worksheet, and then having to figure that out to file my taxes is just like $20 per month is nothing compared to how much my time is worth. Right. And the same goes to hiring a VA to work with you. So you don't need to be managing your inbox or doing some marketing tasks or I don't know, like social media scheduling or creating social media posts. So invest in people that can help you, because you can make better use of your time. Investing in, like, mentorship. If you're feeling stuck, it's very hard to get out of being stuck without some support, someone to give you a hand to show you a better way. So you can find things on your own. It may take a little bit longer. It may be a little harder. So if you want things faster, basically hire support and then you can grow faster. So it goes in all areas, like hiring support, hiring mentorship, better tools, but invest in your business. And also, if you don't take your business serious enough that you feel comfortable investing in your business, it's almost unfair that we expect others to believe in it and pay for it, right? I see it that way. Sometimes I see, especially in the beginning, people are like, oh, I'm testing out, I'm going to see how it goes. But you need an MVP that is viable. It's like a minimal viable product. It needs to be viable. So if you start with a minimum, like if you sell a product is very design driven. Like you need a nice packaging, you need a nice branding. So maybe a service provider don't need to start like with a full branding package. But if you're selling a product, like you're going to need to invest a little bit more there. And having something that doesn't look as nice, it's not going to cut it. If you want to do something high end, you can't start the minimal viable product with something that it's not going to stand for the high quality and the price that you want to price for. So it's like you need to believe in it and you need to invest, like your own investor, your dragon's den, and you're believing in it and you're putting your money in it because you believe that it's going to bring the results, right? So
I
yeah.
love it. And I think it's so important, like you said, on the branding side. And I just want to add to that, because even for service-based business owners, the first thing is branding. When you think about all the different companies you've ever worked with, bought with, invested with, part of what had you do it was because of the brand that they built.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just wanted to add in that investing into, whether it's your logo or having someone help set up your website. I was on like website number 5 before I hired somebody, and I was like, that's your zone of genius. You build me a website. And then when we decided to go from WordPress to Kajabi, so that we had CRMs, email marketing, everything interfaced in one tool with an app. So instead of having 5 tools, I had one. I also had somebody else do the integration for me. So it's also knowing what's your zone of genius and where to invest into your business and when to invest, and to truly know that branding does really come first. So invest into those types of things. And then I wanted to just add on the last thing. The biggest thing is the believing. So we know as business owners, guess what? You have to believe in you. And so Bob Proctor calls this praxis, when your belief in you and your ability align with your goal and you start to be the belief. So you're showing up every single day through that higher lens of yourself, showing up every single day in the belief of what you are being and what you are creating, regardless of current or past circumstances. And I think that's probably the hardest part of being an entrepreneur, is truly owning that mind. And the strategy is essential, believe me, because I had mindset coaches, did all the things, and it wasn't until I brought in a strategy business coach did I surpass the 6 figures. Mindset can only take you so far. And I know everyone in the mindset world is going to say, no, mindset first. I'm going to say, yes, mindset first. And you tell me how it works without a strategy.
Yeah, well, I think you need both
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
yeah.
100% non-negotiable. Both are essential.
Yeah, just the marketing strategy, no mindset, not going to work. And just the mindset, no strategy, not going to cut it either. So you do need both. Yeah.
Exactly. And so having someone like Julia to help you own that strategy and your mindset, or myself,
Yes.
is essential, because they go hand in hand. And we were talking about that holistic approach. And that's where that comes in, is it's not just mindset. You can't just sit and pray and hope it's going to happen, because it's not. Because the 4th stage of manifesting is action. And you can be so busy and be taking all the actions in the world, and yet maybe not using the right strategies. And as Julie was saying, maybe not consistently either, then it doesn't work. So we need the 2 of them to go together. So what would you say is your last piece of advice? Tell us about your gift, and where can they learn more about you so they can own their mindset and their strategy?
Amazing. Thank you. I didn't actually plan a last piece of advice. Let me think
I
about that.
know.
But
That's
meanwhile,
okay. Off the top of your head,
yeah.
anything you want these great business owners to know?
I think I'm going to go back to the highest self because it really helps when you need to make a decision and you ask your highest self, you immediately know the answer. You know if it's a yes, if it's a no, and which direction to go to. So just be familiar with who that person is, who that high self is, and start tapping more into that person, asking more. So when you go ask someone advice and you ask, what to do or which way to go, like ask your higher self, like, and have a conversation with yourself, because your answers are all there and that person is going to help you like so quickly and intuitively. You know, it's their subconscious mind, it's the first thing that comes, and it's going to be a no-brainer, and then you just act. Don't overthink, because the answer is that first thing that comes to mind in a second. Just listen to that voice and follow that. That's my last piece here.
Beautiful.
In terms of sharing things, so again, I do have the business model canvas guide available. This is a free guide. It's a model that already exists. It's widely popular. So you have a template there, but also the tools of how to use that. It's almost like a business plan in a box. So it's like how to structure your business to have a solid foundation. And I also want to leave an invitation that my upcoming mastermind group starts August 14. We only have 6 spots left. It is a 4-month program where we get to meet every week. We do talk about the mindset and strategy part, and it's a mix of course classes and coaching calls in a small group environment of women solopreneurs, service providers. So if you're interested, you can find out more on my website, which is just my name. It's juliafalci.com. My Instagram, it's also just my name. It's Julia Falci. And feel free to email me, message me, and I'd be happy to chat with you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Julia. And we are so aligned. It is so essential to have that full holistic approach and truly show up as that higher self in life and business. So thank you for your wisdom and your energy. Guys, make sure you click on that. That is an incredible free gift. And make sure you check out and connect with Julia so you can learn more about her upcoming mastermind. I'm so excited for you. I know she's helped so many people and she can also help you. So thank you again so much for
Thank you
being
so
on the
much,
show.
Heather. Thank
My
you.
pleasure. So remember, everybody, stay happy, healthy, wealthy, expect magic and miracles, and what is the best that can happen? We'll see you on the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning into the Own It Show today. Make sure to leave a review and subscribe. We want to thank you for your time and energy and extend the invite for you to join us in the Own It community on Facebook, an incubator for conscious entrepreneurs so that they can step into their greatness. We have tons of free trainings and resources for you, as well as a great opportunity to network with people leaving a positive impact on this world. Make sure to come back for next week's show. Have an incredible day. Remember, expect magic and miracles. Stay happy, healthy, and wealthy.